At some point, we have to be able to make a clear distinction between what is good, righteous, holy, and just, and what is of the world. As believers, there has to be a fine line drawn so that we are not led astray going down the wrong path. The Word of God tells us that narrow is the path that leads into righteousness, but wide is the gate that leads to destruction. And many are going down that gate, or many going through it. So when it comes to this whole fraternity stuff and Freemasonry and all this stuff, there's a lot of esoteric meaning. That means that all the information about these societies and organizations is not public knowledge. It's only information given to a few select people who know what's really going on behind this stuff. And a lot of this stuff has to do with ancient pagan worship, but it's just got a new face on it. It's got a new mask on it trying to cloak down. And so the issue and the dangers of pledging into these organizations is that if you don't know what's going on, and this stuff has an impact to manipulate your mind and your will and cause you to do something that will lead you astray, and you are a leader, you're going to lead your congregation astray. Go to the Old Testament with me and look up Jeroboam and what he did, because he was afraid that Israel was going to leave him and go off and go back to, the other kingdom. So what he did was he made 2 calves and put them in 2 different locations so that the children of Israel would go worship at the calves instead of going up to the holy place. He did this to keep the attention on himself. Follow me, because I'm going somewhere with this. So the people, especially the man of God that's making the display, because seems like every season they keep making these displays of, whatever they got going on for attention. Jeroboam caused Israel to sin by doing this. And when Israel sinned this sin, all the iniquity and perversion that came with worshiping those calves came in through that. And so when the people that are looking up to this pastor or these leaders, these young men and women, in their mind, it's okay because my pastor is doing it. And so they follow down the same path, but don't know that these things have spirits attached to it, which can affect their will, can affect their mind and their emotions. Now, of course, up front, it don't seem like anything is wrong with it. We know Satan, when he offers the world, he presents it with a good shiny bow on it, with a nice package, wealth, resources. And these organizations do have good opportunities. I myself have had opportunities when I was in college to join these things. I was being groomed for joining this stuff when I was younger, and even in my old age, because I'm still in school, right? And so because I make good grades in school, they send me these letters in the mail to be a part of these honor societies. So I read through this stuff and I'm like, yeah, this sounds nice about joining, and you get all these perks, all these benefits, but attached to being a part of the honor society is a Greek organization. And one of them in particular is Sigma Phi Beta. But because I know who I am and I know whose I am, I'm not about to make no oath, no pledge to another kingdom outside of my Father's kingdom. So I have to be able to reject that stuff and know the difference between righteous and unrighteousness, holiness and unholiness. So we have to be able to make that clear distinction. And it is a shame that some people can't do that. And then when you call it out, you know what they're going to say? Or you're judgmental, you're condemning. This is why I don't go to church now. Some of y'all don't go to church because you don't want to go to church and you want to appease the flesh. Some of y'all still want this world because you don't understand the kingdom. But if you understand the kingdom, God said he will give you this stuff. He will give you these little things. But seek him first and all his righteousness. And some of these people are seeking the world and its righteousness and not of the kingdom. So if you find this message, I ask that you pray to the Father to ask if it's right or wrong. And I hope that he gives you that Ezekiel type experience where he took Ezekiel up in Ezekiel chapter 8 and he showed them all the wickedness and the abominations that the leaders were doing in Israel, which caused Israel to go astray. And we're supposed to be turning back to Christ. But he said many people in these last days are going to depart from the faith.